Welcome to Pod and Long. I am your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us once again. I'm here with one of my co-hosts. It's Mr. Mike.
I was worried that I was going to get the Trenton Balky treatment after last week's performance, so I'm just happy to have made the cut and be back again this week.
What do you mean? An A+ performance last week. It might be one of your best. We're also here with Mr. Megastar Mark.
Everybody can calm down. I've returned to my normal location when I do these podcasts, and
Thank goodness.
there he is.
Oh, God, a flamingo.
Somehow Megastar Mark returned.
Right, in his flamingo with his eyes on me, making sure I don't do anything crazy. So
a flamingo that watches you. Yes. And we're also here with him. He's back. Welcome back. The Word of Drew.
Boy,
you missed 1 week.
I was. If
Shut up, Dad's back. Shut up.
Man, I listened to last week's show, and if 107.3 The Weasel had a call-in line, I was prepared to go full-on WFAN. Hey, this is Sal from Queens. First time, long time on all of you.
yeah,
I have issues with last week's episode. There are two things that I am prominently, vehemently angry about.
Sir, turn on your radio. Sir.
All right.
The first of them is how arrogantly, confidently wrong all of you are about Mike Tomlin. Period. and I'm going to go into details about that in a minute. Because the second thing that I'm actually more pissed about is that you had an entire conversation about bonkers music from 2001, and not one of you bastards, sorry kids at home, leaned into your microphone and whispered, "Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor."
We definitely needed you for that conversation.
Oh,
that is a valid
you.
point, and we are all hanging our heads in shame on that one.
Right. We were the blind at that point. We desperately needed you for that.
Oh, we did. We lacked your musical knowledge.
Yep.
So you want to hear the Mike Tomlin shit or not?
Yeah.
Go ahead, drop
the Mike Tomlin shit. Go ahead. Should Mike Tomlin be traded?
No. And any Steelers fan who thinks Mike Tomlin shouldn't be the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers should look across the lake, Lake Erie, and see the city of Cleveland and understand that is your fate if you get rid of him. You will be Cleveland, because I understand Mike Tomlin is the face of the Steelers. Mike Tomlin is not the general manager of the Steelers. Mike Tomlin didn't draft baby hands. Mike Tomlin didn't sign Russell Wilson. Mike Tomlin didn't go trade picks for Justin Fields. I have no problem with Mike Tomlin as their coach, because let's go back to August. Not August of 2024, August of 2022, when everybody said, oh, the Steelers are dead. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have anything. The Steelers' magic is over. They are in a full rebuild. And since then, they've had 3 winning records and made the playoffs. Make Mike Tomlin the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't they win that division?
Oh, yes.
Make him the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Don't they win that division?
Yes, but those are two piss poor divisions.
Even so, make it fine. Make him the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't they win that division?
Maybe.
They'd probably go to the Super Bowl.
Yes. So, what are we complaining about exactly? He has one all-pro level player who misses 6 games a year. And other than that, he's piecing it together with duct tape and fishing line. His best 2 wide receivers that he's had in the past 5 years both got kicked off the team for being assholes and are both currently out of the league.
George Pickens ain't that far away.
And Pickens is a nice wide receiver, but you can't tell me with a straight face he's a top 10 wide receiver in football right now.
No, but he's also insane. Like he's
also
right
insane.
in that. Yeah, right.
Here's also.
I don't think. I'll speak for myself. I think Tomlin is a bad coach or any shape or form, and I don't necessarily even think the Steelers should get rid of him. But I think there are going to start to be questions about it at this point, and whether or not they're fair is, to your point. He's not the GM, but coaches, look, every GM in the universe is going to save his own ass before he saves a coach. And there's the possibility that Tomlin gets thrown under the bus, or it's something where it's like, you know what? He's like, I'm sick of working with this guy, and they have a parting of ways or something. Like, he's a great coach, and he's going to be fine wherever, if he ever does leave, he'll be fine anywhere he ends up. But.
And if that's the case, come to Las Vegas.
Oh,
take him tomorrow.
You know who's going to Las Vegas, baby.
You got a new GM.
Russell Wilson, by the way, because Russell Wilson's going to Vegas, and you know it.
So. Yeah, the Raiders hired a new GM. Great. I
believe he might be 12.
Yeah, at least this is a guy who's had success in the last like 10 years.
Yes.
But you know what? I'll believe it when I see it.
I want to touch on Mike Tomlin again real quick. So, like, as us as outside, none of us are Steelers fans, but we know Steelers fans.
Everall.
You know, I wonder if I was a Steelers fan, how fed up with this I would be. You know, we touched upon it in the last episode, like continually making the playoffs but getting booted in the wild card. Like, it's been a while. Even when Roethlisberger was there, that happened. You know, toward the tail end. So,
I'm willing to grant a few years at the end of Roethlisberger's tenure, because this gets into the like David Wright at the end with the Mets, Mike Richter at the end with the Rangers, Tim Duncan at the end with the Spurs. Like, that franchise owed it to Ben to ride it out, knowing that they weren't going to win. Like, what were you going to do? You couldn't get rid of him.
Mhm.
You owed him 2 Super Bowl rings. So you just kind of had to let that fly. But listen, it's now I haven't talked to Greg A., who is the most prominent Steelers fan that we know, but I did talk to 2 of my Steelers guys at work, and both of them would think that it would be idiotic to get rid of Tomlin under any circumstances.
Yeah, probably.
Because again, they don't want to be the Browns, and they know that's what, and they don't even want to be the Bengals.
Yeah,
they know that's their fate if they get rid of him. Like, who are they going to get that's better?
I don't remember exactly what I said last week. I truly don't. I just kind of zone of consciousness the whole time here.
You haven't seen that video, Senator Tuberville?
I have no recollection of the events in question. But like I think it's a boneheaded move to get rid of them, but I also at the same time could see them doing it at some point in the future. Because
it's the stupidest shit in the world if they do.
Correct. There's gonna have to be some kind of accountability. No owner is gonna blame themselves. And like maybe they toss out the GM. Maybe that's the guy they get rid of and they keep Tomlin. You know, the Steelers are an organization that does not fire coaches. They just literally
they don't do it.
Or we're all in our 40s, and we have seen what 2 coaches in our life for the Steelers. 2
in our adult lives, certainly.
In our adult lives, and maybe some of us were alive for Chuck Noll for a hot minute. So 3 in our actual lives. There are teams that have 3 coaches in a season. So, like, the Steelers are not an organization that does this, and I don't think they will. But I think there's going to be more questions being asked than before.
So what's the limit here? What do we finally say? Like, if Tomlin goes next year, wild card loss. In the following year, wild card loss. We're just rolling with that.
Depends on what the construction of the team is.
Oh,
they have. I mean, listen. Look at it top to bottom. They have a bad roster. Their roster is bad. They are not talented. They have 1 all-pro level player who gets hurt every year. They have a couple of good dudes on defense, like Fitzpatrick still got some gas in the tank. They've got a few dudes who can play, but like they don't have any superstars other than Watt.
Yeah, they have Patrick Queen. Whatever you think of him, I don't know.
He's okay,
he's a superstar, but
they have Pickens. He's okay. They have Harris.
They got the Dolphins a while ago.
Harris is going the route of Dalvin Cook, though. He's breaking down earlier than most running backs do. He's
like, pound for pound, the Steelers have one of the less talented rosters in football.
I don't know.
They do, but it's not like, what about this? Like, at a certain point, do you start tuning out the coach? He's been there forever, and we just need a fresh set of eyes on things. Like, we can find the next young.
How many of those players have been there long enough for that to happen?
I don't know. Yeah,
and to Drew's point, I guess you could always say, as a Steelers fan, all right, we get rid of Tomlin. Who is going to make us better? What other coach out there is actually going to come in and make this team better? There's not a lot.
I mean, there's always candidates that we don't know about, right? Or like guys who haven't had a shot that we don't know what they're going to be. But looking at the active pool of coaches in the league right now, how many guys are unilaterally a better coach than Mike Tomlin? Maybe Andy Reid?
McVay.
Andy Reid is better.
McVay? Yeah, but even those are I would
at this point.
And Andy, I think you could put above him.
Mm-hmm.
McVay, I think, is possibly above him, but I think there's some debate there. And after that, everybody's on his level or below. I mean, it's easy to forget he did win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He
There's
did.
not many coaches that can say that.
So did Brian Billick.
Well, and fan of the show, Barry Switzer.
Yeah. Brian Billick, the Colossus from Dinosaurs, you mean?
Barry Switzer.
Sinclair here now.
What about Harbaugh? The other one.
The Harbaughs?
No.
You don't think
He's
the
got it right.
Harbaughs are better coaches than
I don't
Tomlin?
think he is either, but
I don't think unilaterally.
no, I think Tomlin is one of the better coaches in the league. I wouldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, keeping in mind, again, again, ththings happened a long time ago and rosters are different and the league is different, but considering neither one of them has a Super Bowl ring and Tomlin does.
No, John Harbaugh has a Super Bowl ring.
John
that's
does.
right. John does have the one. Yep, you're right. The Harbaugh battle.
Super Bowl.
Yep.
But he's like Mike Tomlin, one step above. Like he just loses in the divisional round every year. Or two steps above, I guess.
He's slightly.
He's one step
now
above
with
Mike
Stacey,
Tomlin.
now with new hat.
She's got a new hat.
So she's got a new hat.
All right.
And you missed Drowning Pool. What happened on this show last week?
Oh my
I
god!
got stained, man. I got stained.
You spent too much time trying not to curse. Just let it go, man. Let it rip.
We can't. These kids are listening.
Yeah,
Fuck them 10-year-old Charger fans.
Oh no!
What are you doing?
We have to guide the new generation.
Oh my god!
Every new generation.
That's half our listener base. We need to really clean this up.
I know. There's like 4 of them. So
every new generation fan who listens to this podcast is also going to listen to the DeGrod Pod in 2025. So I cannot shun these people away. God damn it! I mean, oh darn it!
Mark, it's been 2025 for a little while now.
3 weeks.
he's working on it. He's not done.
It's happening. We're well ahead of the game. Don't worry.
It's only January.
Yeah.
His NIL deals to Drew are still being worked on. Still being worked on. Any other takes that you're boiling to get out here at the top?
That was all of my burning missives from last week. I gnashed my teeth while I was listening.
All right, so you did like Matt Patricia press conference.
Matt Patricia was all right.
All right.
I was okay
all right.
with that.
And you like 107.3 WSEL the week.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's good.
A radio guy.
2. We got 2.
Yeah. Former radio guy. I can
You can get down to that, right? All right. Is it time for the A block?
Brought to you by 107.3 WSEL The Weasel.
Now overnights with Rob Ryan.
Overnights over the belt with Rob Ryan.
2 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6 a.m. Gets a little blue.
Parents' basement with JJ McCarthy.
JJ
Mom's
McCarthy.
basement with JJ McCarthy. Man, who's foreigner?
Who's gonna make me lunch?
No response. Just
Rio Speedwagon?
There's no chicken in the fridge.
Man, I can only hope that we have other characters in this year's draft that we can embrace
Mom,
like
I
we
want
did.
Pop-Tarts.
There's gonna be somebody.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait for it to happen. Well, it'll happen. Well, we're gonna have Greg's freak out at least.
Yes, that's true.
Number 1 pick, Greg, might be one of my favorite Gregs.
It's gonna be fun.
Wait, are we gonna? We should talk about that right now. Did you hear what the Titans GM said today?
No.
Or not
Let's
GM,
go to the
executive?
A block.
Let's miss out on the
Okay,
chance to
all right.
draft a generational player.
Yes.
Let's go to the A block real quick.
In 2023, 4 friends were sentenced to watch bad football for crimes they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped, arguing over text message to the YouTube underground. Today, still growing their audience, they survive with silly voices and running gags. If you have an hour to kill, if you have nothing better to do, and if you can find them, maybe you can listen to the A Block.
Okay, it's the A block.
The mother actually did it. I didn't think he would actually do
Welcome
it.
to the A block.
With our budget, all of a sudden.
What happened there? We have explosions, helicopters. The A block has its own entrance theme now. The A block song. Chris, he's back.
Awesome. As
He's
always,
at it.
Chris.
He's at it again. The A block. Soon he's going to redo Ass Man for us, I'm sure.
It'll be like a beatnik poetry slam.
Yes, please.
Shatner. Shatner has
Shatner style Ass Man.
Ass man.
I'm gonna love him. Okay, A block. Ben Johnson is now the Bears coach.
Oh my God! Did you see his press conference today?
Where he said he loves beating the Packers.
There are hints of Adam Gase in this man. Let me just say that.
Oh,
No.
He is.
nepotism is strong in this one.
Was he using the smelling salts? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Remember
there's
that press conference? That guy
in the
looked
entire
nuts.
press conference. Just, real weird guy.
That's why he's
Not
never
that that's
been
gonna
like
exclude him from being a great coach, but
Right.
real
Mike
fucking
McDaniel's
weird.
the
Football
coach.
autist Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel's the coach. Remember, he's pretty weird.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Ben Johnson. A year too late. Like, shouldn't they have hired him last year? Shouldn't they fired Eberflus last year and just hired him last year?
I do like that he went to the in division. I feel like that adds a
What?
little spice. I like
yeah.
that.
Wow, that's weird.
No, I dig that. I'm looking forward to that next year. That should be fun.
Okay. Yeah, him and Dan Campbell going at it.
I gotta, and maybe we'll talk about this later on, but I gotta wonder if we're seeing the beginning of the end of this current incarnation of the Lions.
Be very much mine.
Johnson's gone.
Glenn
their
is gone.
Their defensive coach is gone. Like
They
it's-
lost their O-line coach to a coordinator and their D-line coach to a coordinator as
Yeah,
well.
There is part of me though that thinks that Dan Campbell is such a weird magnetic cult of personality unto himself that it may persist. Like he's
maybe.
kind of NFL Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I heard
It's
Mark
perfect.
Brunell as an offensive coordinator. That's fun as shit. That's
I like that. Bring him back.
right.
Sorry, I got confused and I thought you said Mark Bruner is offensive coordinator. And I was like, here's a lot of 3-yard runs off tackle.
I need Steve Berline in that line too. Steve Berline on line 2.
Here's my run game coordinator, Dan Kreider.
Sweet.
I don't know what Tim Biakabatuka is doing, but maybe you can bring him in. He's available. He's not doing anything. Ben Johnson of the Bears. For if you're the Bears, I feel like this is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is a win for the Bears.
He's weird, but whatever. That's fine.
I mean,
You're getting the
he's
top
the
you're getting the top candidate,
I was
technically.
gonna say you got what is considered to be the best candidate on the market right now.
Yep.
You poach him from a division rival.
right.
That's
Make the Lions
it's
worse.
a good day for the Bears, but again, the Bears are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sort of putting them at the top of the division tomorrow.
No.
I think there's still work to do in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think the defense is going to need a bit of an overhaul, and I don't know what you do with Caleb Williams or his dad.
I don't know though. Like I looked at the Bears defense on paper. There's some talent there. I just, I think
They're
they just
not
need a
that
good
bad.
coordinator to kind
Could
of
be bad scheming,
around,
but again,
so.
he's an offensive coach.
no.
Who he hires for
coordinators
D
important.
coordinator is going to be real important.
Yep.
By the way, according to the interwebs, Tim Biakabatuka currently owns 8 Bojangles restaurants.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome!
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And he is
I
a
want
managing
Bojangles
member-
money.
He is a managing partner at Qualum Limited Liability Corporation. I don't know what that is.
I know what Frank Reich's doing.
Oh no, we can't talk about that. Can't talk about that.
I know what he has done.
Okay, there you go.
Right, Mark.
You know what he's
I'm
doing
not,
right now? He's
I'm
getting
not doing
paid
it
to
now.
do nothing.
Look, Mark, I'm not doing it now because we missed Christmas. But there was about a fifth. I spent about an hour looking into it, where I was going to get a cameo from Don Beebe and have him basically tell you everything you know about Frank Reich is true.
That would have been amazing.
Holy shit, that would have been awesome.
Who
Don
knows? It might still
Beebe.
happen.
What a random.
The cameo for Bills. Jim Kelly wants way more money than he really should get.
Of course.
As does every other bill. And Don Beebe was like, "Yeah, I'll do it for $40." So,
That's a skill player.
Oh my god!
Friend of the show.
Lunch pail player. More quick than fast.
More quick
if you
than
will.
fast.
Which is why I knew you would enjoy him.
Yes.
Tiny.
And
He is the poor man's Julian Edelman of the 1990s.
Yes, right.
And as Mark knows, my theory is that Don Beebe not only stepped out of bounds against Houston, but managed to get a pretzel in the third row before coming back inbounds to catch that touchdown
Hey,
pass.
guys.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's over. No replay back then. It's fine.
Hey, Don Beebe got a Super Bowl. He's the only one, right?
Yes, he did.
He's the only one who got one with the Packers.
You're right. I think
96.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they kneeled it
nobody
and they
else did.
gave him the ball at the end.
Here you go. You lost
Game
in
ball.
4. We'll give you one now.
Yeah.
There you
right.
go. You can have this. Okay, Ben Johnson to the Bears. We'll see what happens. Ben Johnson, I guess he's going to Caleb Williams and talent on offense, so it should be fine. I mean, their offense was horrible, so I mean, he should be able to clean that up. Aaron Glenn to the Jets.
Good move.
I like that hire
Aaron.
for them a lot,
Yeah,
especially
I
as a
do
guy who
too.
started his career there.
Right.
like
Somebody
it.
who actually wanted to be there. That's also I hate to say that, but that is a bar with the Jets.
Ooh.
So
Somebody check. I don't know. Did he play for them during the Johnson years, or was he strictly when Leon Hess was the owner?
I feel like he was with just
It
with Hess.
was Hess.
I would
because
think
he
so
was
too,
a
but I don't
Parcells
know
guy.
offhand.
He was a Parcells guy, right?
Because he was with the Texans their first year, which was what, 2002
or something like that.
So
Yeah.
I don't think
Leon
he
Hess
had
was
the team by that point.
Yeah, I don't think he's a Johnson guy.
But still,
I like
great
it.
hire.
He's-
I
that's
like
a
Aaron
great
Glenn
hire.
a lot. Yep.
He's
He's
kind
not
of
a
a
Johnson guy. He's an ass man.
he's kind of a culture guy more so than Sala was. So maybe he can
Well, and the
whip them into
Jets-
shape.
The Jets need that.
Yep.
Definitely need that.
I also feel like he's 100% shit canning the Aaron Rodgers experiment, which I'm in favor of. So
Well, I just
He
heard
needs- he
someone
needs
said
future
today
Minnesota
that
Vikings quarterback Brett
Yeah,
Favre.
right.
I
Yeah.
mean Aaron Rodgers.
I heard today that they're thinking about running him back. They're thinking
That'd
about
be-
running him back.
why would okay? So I don't know how long he signed for. What, 3 years, 5 years? It's usually
Yeah.
He's got one more. Oh, you're talking about Glenn, or you're talking about
Glenn.
Rodgers?
Yeah, Glenn.
Yeah,
Glenn.
But why would
Glenn,
you
I don't know.
start your head coaching career with a lame duck
Lame
quarterback?
duck quarterback.
It makes
Because it
no
might
sense.
not be your choice.
Ah, man, I would have
Because
made
Woody
sure that was
Johnson
talked
still
about.
owns Woody Johnson still owns the team and
Yeah.
isn't being sent to Ireland.
Man, I would have made sure that was talked about before I even took that job, because that is
Yeah, sir.
ridiculous. If they
Maybe
run
he
it
did
back
talk
there.
about it. Just real quick, Aaron Glenn was a Jet from '94 to 2001.
Okay, so
So-
probably almost exclusively a Hess guy
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Right. 3-time Pro Bowler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, he was
I
legit.
used to hate as a Bills fan playing against him. He was like kind of that shady, like kind of the
The
undersized
Rodney
dude.
Harrison of his era.
Oh man, he was just so good though. He would always undercut every pass. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
it was mostly thrown by Todd Collins, but still,
Yes, the Texans selected him in 2002's expansion draft.
remember that.
Yeah, Leon Hess died in '99. Woody Johnson bought the team in 2000, so he would have played 2 seasons under Woody Johnson.
Okay, so he maybe knows him a little bit, but he's a fucking weird guy. So good luck, Aaron Glenn.
I think that'll work.
It might.
I
It
feel
might.
better about that than I feel about the fucking Patriots reunion thing that's going on in
Yes.
New England.
Yeah,
So-
well, we already kind of went over that. Patricia hasn't been hired yet, but what's his face? McDaniels is.
Nobody.
Oh,
Even-
boy, wait a minute.
Oh,
Matt's
he's
back.
back.
Hold on.
Yep.
Matt, thanks for joining us again. Got a first question here. How come you haven't been
Ready to get
hired
back
yet?
on the weasel.
Thanks. How come you haven't been hired yet by the Patriots?
We're having some talks, but it's difficult when you want to coach both sides of the ball. Because I'm skilled at it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, Matt, when you were the coach of the Lions and you brought all those other Patriots coaches with you, and the team circled the drain and died, don't you think there's some indication that that's what's going to happen to this Patriots incarnation, whether or not they hire you?
No, I think Mike Vrabel has cracked the black magic of Bill Belichick and will bring that same kind of energy.
Matt, I have a
Negative
question for you.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were at RPI, what was your favorite thing about living in upstate New York?
I got to say, there was a fine selection of buxom women in the 30 seconds you see them when they're not wearing a parka.
All those parties at Russell Sage.
Also, dinosaur barbecue ain't bad.
It wasn't here when he was here, I don't think. All right, thanks.
I sent a program assistant to go get it for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's smart. Any other questions for Matt?
Matt, true or false, before you left the Albany area, you tried out for the Albany Firebirds and/or Conquest.
No comment.
All right, thanks, Matt.
They just want you to know that they're losing out on some talent, and they know what they're talking about. But they know what I'm talking about.
They, yes, okay. They know what you're talking about. I'm talking about. All right, thanks, Matt. My God. What is written on that play sheet? It's a bunch of doodles. Oh my God.
It's my kid's play sheet.
Is that a menu? What is
Looks
that?
like a menu, yeah.
Looks like a menu.
That also tracks for him. Oh no, it's
That's like
Chris-
stickers.
stickers. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Thanks, Matt.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Don't want some suicides.
All right.
Well done.
And scene.
When did Matt Patricia adopt Bobby Bowden's accent?
I don't know, but it's funny.
It's
How
his
we
new
put it-
affectation. He's trying to reinvent himself again.
I like how
Bob
we put
Bryant
it.
has an accent. Nathaniel Hackett has
Yeah,
an accent.
everyone has a southern accent. All of our voices.
That's true.
Nathaniel Hackett does not sound like you.
I
Oh shit! God damn it!
can't wait for Matt Patricia to say, "Dadgummit, I don't know how my players got them deals on those shoes."
You one sad thing about the Jets, real quick though, is they
Just
didn't hire.
one.
They didn't hire Rex Ryan. They didn't hire Rex
Yeah.
Ryan.
I'm
It didn't
okay
happen.
with that. I am okay with that.
No,
Like,
Drew, we needed.
Like, from a comedic standpoint,
Chaos.
hiring Rex Ryan would have been amazing.
It would have been so good for
You know how much
content.
material we would have gotten out of that?
Oh my
And that-
God,
It would be
endless.
If like Pete Carroll showed up again in the NFL. Oh, sorry, Drew.
Is that confirmed? Is that happening?
That's
no,
the
but
rumor.
I am stating publicly once and for all in the hollowed airwaves of this show to live on forever. If the Raiders go through with the rumor and hire Bill Belichick, I'm out. I'm done.
Really? Wow.
Done. Can't.
What do you
Won't.
do? Do you like take time until he gets fired,
I
or
will
do you?
become
Are
as
you
Ronin. I will have no team.
Oh, see, no,
Yeah.
I
He'll be a
disagree.
wandering samurai.
As somebody who was slightly Ronin-ish for a period when the Niners hired Chip Kelly, I'm telling you, I was a Bears fan for a year with Jay Cutler, and it was a joy.
You know, it's funny you mention that. I talked to one of my guys at work who is a Bears fan, and I proposed that he and I should just swap allegiances. I should go root for the Bears, and he should go root for the Raiders. And he refused.
Yeah,
And
I
I would
would.
rather stick with the misery I'm familiar with.
that's a good point.
Yeah, right. The devil, you know.
Oh, speaking of devil, the Jaguars can't find a coach, and part of
They
the
also
problem
have
is
to find a GM.
Yeah,
part of the
right.
problem is Trent Baalke and the fact that he's sort of like Eberflus. He's got body doubles or something or he's got something on Shad Khan because that guy should have been fired a long time ago. But finally, Trent Baalke is fired.
Yep. I heard they tried to go after the Buccaneers offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen.
He said no.
And he said no, but he said no because of Baalke being at the GM spot.
Yeah.
I heard they're going to try again. They're going to go back to him like, hey, man, he's gone. Like, do you want back in? Like, go on now. You can pick your own GM.
Look,
He just
Trent
resigned with the Bucks, I think. So I don't think that's
Get
happening.
out of that.
Trent Baalke is the one who hired Chip Kelly for the Niners. So,
Oh, my
just-
God.
Oh, God. Well, he's finally gone. So the Jags maybe will get better.
I don't know. They still have Shad Khan as an owner.
Maybe John Moxley can come in, or maybe he can bring some wrestlers over to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Why not?
Dude, if Jeff Jarrett coaches the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Jeff Jarrett.
I'm
available.
all in.
Listen,
JJ for the JJ.
I will become a Jaguars fan. If
the
that
only thing
happens.
I know about Jeff Jarrett is he broke 1,000 guitars. Never drew a dime.
That's my favorite documentary. Just burying Jeff Jarrett the entire time. Only if he sings that song before every game.
That song is a banger.
With my baby tonight.
Well, he didn't sing it though. You know who sang it? Road Dogg, who was
Road-
tag team
Jesse
partners
James.
with who?
The ass man.
Wait.
I teed you up.
Yeah, I'm an ass man.
Who was also a Degeneration X member with.
Expert. Think you can tell us what to do? Yeah.
All right,
Think you can tell us what?
So I saw a hilarious thing on Twitter where apparently, whatever his actual name is, X-Pac's real name, doesn't matter.
Sean Waltman.
Basically said like Mr. Perfect convinced him or told him he had to shave his eyebrows the day before his first photo shoot for the WWF, where they did like the photo for his figure, like the 1-2-3 kid figure. So if you see the photo of the package, it's him doing this without any eyebrows.
Yes.
And it was all Kurt Henning's fault.
Yes.
Sounds like Mr. Perfect.
His Hasbro has no eyebrows.
I wanted things I never thought I would say in my life, let alone on this show. I want to go back to Ass Man for a second. All right, go back and listen to all those songs from that era, right? Like, you can tell that the WWE had contracted like 4 rotating session bands to just knock all these out, right? Because like the band that does Ass Man is the same band that does like 20 other songs. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Imagine you're the guy and they hand you that sheet of lyrics, right? And you're writing the music or whatever. Like, don't you just grab your bottle of Southern Comfort and you're like, whatever, it's a paycheck.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you respond to that?
How do you sleep at night on a pile
I'm
of
an ass man. Yeah, I'm an ass man.
Yeah! That David Lee Roth. Yeah! You know how you do it, Drew? You get the smelling sauce that Adam Case had before that press conference, and then you're ready to go. Okay, Trent Baalke's gone. Let's go to the Titans. That's where this started. The Titans, new GM who is not Greg. What's going on here? Greg B didn't get the job, or is he in disguise? They said they're going to trade back.
There's a higher than 0% chance that it could be Greg B in disguise. Killer Greg is on the march. No, he said that they're going to take. You can rest assured they will take a generational talent at number 1, which to me means not a quarterback.
Yeah. Sounds like Travis Hunter.
Which is the right move.
Or
is it
one of those offensive tackles? The draft is very heavy with really good offensive tackles.
If they do that, that would be
as a top-heavy draft with OTs. Yeah.
As an ancillary point coming up about the April draft, this is going to be a real boring draft because there's not a lot of sexy players in it.
Yes, I heard that too.
This is going to be in the trenches. This is going to be a lot of defensive ends and outside linebackers and tackles.
Boy,
we're having our work cut out for us on draft night, gentlemen.
Yeah,
we'll still make it. We'll make it fun.
So Mel Kiper released his first draft, mock draft. Okay, let me go through the top 5, and then I'll hit on all of our teams. All right,
go ahead.
So top 5, Tennessee Titans. He has him taking Cam Ward.
I saw that.
Yeah, he has the Browns taking Travis Hunter. The Giants taking Shadir Sanders. The Patriots losing that game and therefore off anybody decent, drafting Abdul Carter, defensive end from Penn State. And the Jaguars taking Mason Graham, a defensive tackle out of Michigan. So.
Okay.
My camera's unplugged.
Uh-oh.
Shadow Realm.
You need us to fill time?
I love to kick 'em. I love to shove 'em. I love to stick 'em.
Oh my God, he's really gone.
I love to watch 'em. I love to pick 'em. And I'm gonna kick 'em. 'Cause I'm an ass man. Yeah, I'm an ass man.
He left. Does that mean I have to start Ass Man again?
Oh.
He left the chat. Mark left the chat.
If you watch the show on YouTube, like every week that we've played that song, if you go into the little notes about the clip on YouTube, it lists that song as one of the notes about our show. So we're inexorably linked forever, just so you know.
Well, we got to make sure that's in there because
for some reason the Xbox song doesn't show up, but that one
We are
does.
ass men.
Think you can tell us what
he's
to
starting
do?
back. We lost Mark.
The show grinds to a halt.
He's back. Okay.
Oh,
good.
And somehow Mark returned.
The flamingo knocked you out.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, we're good.
All right, there we go. All right.
All
So
right,
let me continue where I was. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So you have now the Carolina Panthers taking Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia.
He's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
We need defense. Sure.
Yep. We have the Raiders. Sorry, the Raiders taking, and I'm going to butcher his name, Tatoria McMillan from Arizona.
I saw that too. Fine. See if he's any good.
Niners, they got y'all taking Kelvin Banks Jr., an offensive tackle out of Texas.
Who's really good.
Okay.
and they had the Bills taking
We need offensive
Maxwell
line help.
Hairston, a corner out of Kentucky.
Who I don't know.
I don't know. Mel's first crack at
What
it.
was the 32nd pick?
Ooh. All right, time for the B block. Let's go over the games from the divisional round. That was a lot of coach talk, a lot of off-season talk, but we had games. The Chiefs played the Texans.
Kinda.
I mean, the Texans did give up 9 sacks.
Well, the Texans played the Chiefs and the officials.
Yeah, that's true, but they did give up 9 sacks in the game. So
Yes, they did.
Sniffed 8 sacks in a long time.
Ah,
Thanks, Mark.
yep.
Alley-oop.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Even Troy
Chiefs-
Aikman is sick of Pat Mahomes shit.
That one call was
That
fucking
whole
horrible.
look,
that was
that entire thing of like, I'm going to pretend to go out of bounds, that needs to be an immediate 15-yard penalty. Like,
Yes.
That
Yeah.
that is such a load of horse crap, and he is the most egregious abuser of that.
Yeah, he knows it. And some people just need to hit him out of bounds and not worry about the flag. They just need to hit him.
You're going to get the
And he'll
flag
stop
anyway.
doing it.
Just hit him.
right.
He'll stop doing it. Just hit him. Just go
Just
through the
think.
play.
Just think we can trace the whole phenomenon back to Kenny Pickett.
Baby hands. As everything comes back to his tiny hands.
Tiny little doll hands.
That was a little,
There's
that
hands
little
right there.
hand. Hey, look, do we have another press conference here, baby hands? Baby hands is still in the playoffs, by the way.
I know he is. Yeah.
He's a
Would you
backup
say
on the
Baby
Eagles.
Hands has the hands of fate?
Ooh, Manos.
Manos.
Hands of fate.
The hands of fate.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Travis Kelce, all the talk about how terrible he is. He was back to playoff Kelce.
Yeah. The whole Chiefs look like they were back to playoff Chiefs. So
Yep.
you know
They look good again.
that
I don't
they're
think the
devil
Texans aren't very good. We talked about this last week. Where like this is the Shakey's game 2.0. Like
Yeah.
it's another like
Um,
shitty pizza place. Game.
I've been told that CJ Stroud is above someone undefeated.
Wow.
I love that you keep bringing it up. That's
Yeah, we'll
fantastic.
see
There's
Yeah.
a New Orleans line coming out soon.
Yeah. Very.
after
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Right after the Super Bowl, New Orleans line. I don't know if there's much to say here. The Texans were never going to win this game. I don't
No,
think.
they were, I mean, at least competent up until the half.
Yeah.
And then, man, that O line just got and I think some of it is also like the Chiefs got super aggressive calling blitzes, and they just did not know how to handle it. So
Yeah.
Their offensive line was bad all year. We talked about it
looked,
a while ago.
Even
and
Tunsil. Even
Yeah,
Tunsil
it
was
was bad.
shitty for them.
he was real bad in that game.
He was bad. The Chiefs move on. That night, the Commanders and Lions had one of the most entertaining playoff games we've had.
I'm sorry, Commanders? Who's Commanders?
Mark's Commanders.
Oh, I mean,
Mark's Commanders moving on. They beat the Lions. What a shock. What an
Yeah.
upset. 45 points they laid on these
What a game.
guys.
What a fun game.
What a fun game. It was so
Yeah.
fun.
Right.
Also,
Even the
you know,
the Lions scored 31 points. They,
Yeah,
they
right.
still were like
I couldn't help but watch that game and think idly to myself, "Oh yeah, I remember this Jared Goff.
Yeah, right.
Gone for a little bit, but here he
Yeah.
is."
I mean, you got to feel for Lions fans. Like this year was so special for them, and it was
Yeah.
just those injuries. Just you can't keep up with that. They lost
They
2
killed
more
them.
guys in this game.
Yeah.
Like how many
They
more
were,
guys? Can you
like 22
trot out?
guys injured or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Even with that, that's not what did them in. Like,
No,
okay,
it
they gave
wasn't.
up 35
Correct.
points or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of what did give them in. But 5 turnovers?
Yep,
That's
right. You're never
Damn.
coming back from that.
well,
There were some
amazing part is
ugly ones.
the NFC North put 3 teams in the playoffs.
yes.
All of them got
Like
knocked
the
out.
NFC title game
They're all wiped out.
Right.
None of
Yeah.
them won a game.
somehow emerged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, none of them won a game. Actually, the Lions, that was their first game, so they didn't win a game.
Right.
I
feel bad for them. I do because I really
Yeah.
like this Lions team. They were fun. I don't know. Like I kind of agree with Mike. I'm very curious how this offseason goes because you lost a lot of leadership in that locker room.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's over because, like, you know, Aaron Glenn is bound to take some Lions coaches with him,
With him.
you know, and so is Ben Johnson. And you know, like I
Probably,
said,
yeah.
they lost their O line and their D line coach already. And it's just this team's going to get gutted. coach wise. So I mean, a whole new staff in there. That's tough to run it back.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Goff
In a good division too. In a very good division.
Right. That's
so.
not getting any worse.
Right.
You know, you would assume that the Bears will be better. You would assume that the Packers, Jordan Love,
The Bears
being
getting better
healthy,
is not a safe assumption.
I think they'll be a little bit better.
And by the way,
Yeah, it's my turn. Let's go. Yeah.
It's also reasonable to suggest that Minnesota's going to regress to the mean.
They'll probably regress a little bit. Yeah, you're probably right.
No, JJ's going to go full Anakin Skywalker.
He's already there. He's got the hair.
Look, he's playing in Minnesota. There's no sand to worry about. This is going to be fun.
He hates sand, so.
I hate snow, Dad.
Oh, no. That's a problem. But Mark's Commanders, on the positive note, let's talk about Mark's Commanders. They took it to these guys.
It's great.
My God, Jaden Daniels.
Very balanced team, too. Like that run game, I don't think it's
Eckler showed back up and was good.
Brian Robinson had a great game.
He had a good game as well.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz back from the scrap heap.
I think I was like, oh, today I learned Zach Ertz is still in the league.
Yeah, resurgence.
Yeah.
It's really hard to cover that Jaden Daniels rollout where he's like could pass or run. It's kind of a cheat code a little bit, and the Lions couldn't solve it. Lions could not solve it.
Not with their duct tape defense they had.
No, and Mike brings up a good point. I mean, this line. Well, we'll talk about it, but like playing the Eagles, I think will be a different story.
Yeah.
At least in terms of a defense being able to kind of combat that because they are very fast on the Eagles defense. So, and they're actually healthy.
Right.
So
they are good. Yeah, Terry McLaurin breaking like 4 Lion tackles on that one play for like an 80-yard touchdown on a screen.
Once again, it's like their practice squad guy.
Yeah. No, it was their top corners, I think, that he ran through there. But yeah. Jared Goff went to the Shadow Realm. Did you catch that? He got annihilated on that one pick six.
Today, by the way, was the 2-year anniversary of when Ezekiel Elliott got sent to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, God. That was
my favorite play of all time.
One of the greatest playoff plays ever. But the Commanders are moving on. They're facing the Eagles. Do you think the Commanders have a chance to beat the Eagles? Or are they?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to say it is a division game.
Right.
They know each other really well. And in division games, all sorts of wacky shit can happen. So,
I mean, I think this is kind of where the magic ends for Mark's Commanders.
Wow.
I think the Eagles I think they're just a little too good. Now, that being said, Sirianni does have his infinite ability to step on his own Johnson.
Yes.
Step on his own Ben Johnson, if you will.
His own Ben Johnson.
And like, there's always that wild card. But this Eagles team is good. But I don't think the NFC is great. Like, this is...
Yeah.
These are two teams that going into a Super Bowl that have weaknesses.
The Eagles get a home game now.
You don't look at either of them and go, "Oh, damn, that's that team's loaded. They're ready for like that." They're a good team and they got X, Y, and Z, and like they're there. They're just kind of there.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, I did not expect the Commanders to roll the Lions like that. But yeah, that was the most fun game of the weekend.
I won some money on that game, actually. I didn't bet the winner, but I bet like overs on every single like commander I could find in terms of like
awesome.
yardage and touchdowns, and they blew up.
Here's the only thing I'll say about the Eagles going forward to a theoretical matchup about the Commanders. Yes, the Eagles all hate each other, but they appear to hate everyone else even more. And like
in true Philadelphia fashion,
exactly. Like
they are the literal embodiment of Philadelphia. I hate every bastard around me, but I hate everyone else who isn't from Philly more.
Yeah,
more. Yeah, and I think that's going to propel them into the Super Bowl because I think it was Mark who predicted it to me like 8 weeks ago. The Super Bowl we all wanted was Buffalo and Detroit. The Super Bowl we were going to get is Kansas City and Philly.
I had Philly making it. I had Philly beating the Commanders. I mean, in my predictions, and I'm still standing by it. I mean, the Commanders, I think, will make it close, but I still think Philly wins this game.
All right. The Eagles, let's talk about them. Eagles defeated Mark's former lover, the Rams. Eagles over Rams.
Bye, Felicia.
A competitive game from the Rams. They just gave up two hideous runs by two amazing runs by Saquon Barkley, but two awful gashes and 205 yards.
Shot at the end. I mean, it's not
They
like
still
they
had
were.
a chance they still had a
within
chance to
2 minutes
tie.
left, they had a chance. Yeah.
They weren't able to pull it off, but are the Rams officially dead? Like, is Stafford going to retire and Cooper Kupp's going to leave, and like we're done with this era?
McVay's still there.
Yeah.
Like team's always going to be good as long as he's there, or at least competitive. I would say not maybe not good. But
Stafford doesn't know if he's coming back. He said so.
You
think he's coming back?
No, I don't actually. I think I took a second there. I think he's gone. I think Cooper Kupp is gone, but I think that's actually the right move. You gotta move on at this point. I'm sure you can find something. So,
Jimmy Garoppolo, come on down.
He's so beautiful.
He is pretty.
Such a beautiful man.
He ain't gorgeous no more.
Kid presentable.
I enjoyed this. I enjoy snow games. I also,
and honestly, the Rams played pretty damn good considering they are a dome team and from LA.
Yeah.
You know, that was impressive to play as well as they did.
And they lost their D tackle, which is a huge problem against Saquon Barkley.
And Jared Verse talked a lot of shit, but he backed that up. Like he was not the
played
reason
pretty
they
well.
lost that game. Yeah.
You Albany's Jared Verse.
Yeah, right.
You Albany's Jared Verse. He also went around like soaked up the booze before the game. I like
How
that.
could you not?
Absolutely.
It's funny. Had I was listening to the Kelsey. You're gonna love this, Mike. I was listening to the Kelsey Brothers podcast earlier today, and they were talking about Jared Verse.
Not been having a good run lately, Ryan.
No, I haven't. They were talking about Verse, and they're like, he grew up an hour away from Philadelphia. Like, yeah, that's probably why he hates all Eagles fans. Live with them your whole life. And your main event, the Bills and the Ravens. Wow. What a game. Bills take it because the Ravens step on their own dicks again.
And Johnsons.
Step on their own Ambassador Johnsons.
Not about that one.
Call me Ambassador
Johnson.
This game was all Bills, it seemed like. And then the Ravens started making a comeback, and Lamar started to shake the cobwebs loose. He wasn't very good in the first half, but in the second half, he was starting to get it going. And then an untimely fumble by Mark Andrews, but then they still march down and go to tie, and Mark Andrews drops the 2-point conversion. So they lose.
Oops, I crap my pants.
But no one's talking. They're like, oh, he dropped the 2-point conversion, which, yes, that lost in the game. But also, there was still like a minute and 30 seconds. You can't tell me that Josh Allen wasn't going to run it down there and get a game-winning field goal. That was still a high. There was way too much time on the clock. So I think that could have happened. But the Ravens step on their own dick, literally, and they're out. And the Bills move on. Mark?
How you doing, Mark?
I've been on the other side of that so fucking much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this one. So,
take it.
Like I've just seen, and it very well may happen this week for the Bills, where they step on their own dick.
Yeah.
They tend to do it a lot against Kansas City, so I will take this as I can get it. I can say, I felt like the Bills got very conservative in the second half. I feel like they were playing very well in the first, aggressive with play calling. They were blitzing Lamar, which normally you never do. And they were getting to him. I mean, Von Miller, of all people, looked like
fumble.
Resurgent Von Miller. Apparently was just saving 3 years of shit play for this. Looked great. So, and then they just backed off, and I hate that shit. And that's the type of stuff that'll get you killed against Kansas City. If you're even in a position to play conservative, which you aren't, by the way, Buffalo. So, I'm happy to be in the AFC Championship game, but the Bills have a monumental task ahead of them, and they have not proven they can beat Kansas City in the playoffs. So to do that, somebody on this Bills team who Kansas City is not planning for has to step up. And what I mean is, like, they can plan for Josh Allen. They're going to plan for James Cook. somebody else, whether it be offense or defense, has to come up and have a once in a lifetime day if the Bills have a chance.
I would say that this is probably the most beatable Chiefs team they've played in this spot, though.
But I would say
It
this
is.
is also like one of the weakest Bills teams since out of
I
the
was so
ones who made it,
it feels wrong to say this, but like I was so mad at this game because I wanted the Bills to win, and they did. But I wanted Baltimore to win because I felt like Baltimore was built to beat Kansas City. Right? Like Derrick Henry was off the leash. There were no restrictions on him. Just run downhill all day, 30 carries a game. Like Lamar is essentially an option play every time he has the ball. Is he going to run? Is he going to throw? Is he going to hand off? Like they could control the time of possession, and they could control the game. And the only thing I thought afterwards, and Mark, I think you'll know what I'm going to say, is like, Buffalo, you better damn well do it this time.
Yep.
You better.
Yep.
Like it's if
America needs this.
you're gonna do it, do it.
At the same time, though, like you're asking them to beat the Chiefs twice in a year, and
I know.
they've
know.
beaten them plenty of times in the regular season with, on paper, I think better teams.
Better
than
team.
the team is right now. I think this is a very young team, which I think bodes well, but I still think it's very young to be in this situation right now.
Yeah.
And
I'll give Buffalo this. They're healthy at the right time.
They are, but
that makes a difference. But it's like, God damn it. If you're gonna, like you just hate to feel like you're watching reruns.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're gonna do it, do it.
I am curious because like last season, the Bills starting linebackers playing Kansas City were Tyrell Dodson and AJ Klein, who had been on the couch 2 weeks prior.
2 weeks prior.
And now it's Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard, the two, all-stars that they have.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know. It's going to still take something monumental because there is devil magic with Kansas City.
Yes.
And they will.
Look, the Lord of Darkness eventually collects his due. It has to happen at some point.
We saw it.
So I don't know how well you guys know boxing. Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez. They fought 4 times. In one of those fights, Pacquiao wins outright. In 2 of the other 3, there is some belief that depending on who you talk to, one of them, generally it is considered that Marquez won, but the judges took it away from him. And one of them is kind of depending on how you look at the fight, either one of them could have won. Going into the 4th fight, if you're Marquez, you've got to have that in your head, right? Like, I cannot win this in a decision. I have to put him down. And that's exactly what he did. Pacquiao tried to go over the top. Marquez ducks under. He comes over with the overhand right and absolutely knocks Pacquiao into another country. But he had to know that was the only way he's going to win. And that's how I feel like Buffalo has to go into this game.
Yeah.
They
Every
cannot
trick
be
has
looking
to
to
be
drag
pulled
this into a decision or keep it close. Like, it needs to be throttled
It needs
down
to be
all
pedal
day,
to the metal
all the
the
time.
entire game.
And
Yes.
that's why I'm saying, the Chiefs, though, are so well coached and they're so talented.
Yes.
They're going to expect it out of who the Bills have. That's why if it's going to happen, it's going to be somebody that none of us are thinking about is going to be the guy who wins it for Buffalo. And I just want one. Just give me fucking one.
Mark, I love Mark. You are so like cats just stepping around this of like, I want this so bad, but I don't dare put it out into the universe because my heart can't take this again. Look, you have to realize that America is just absolutely pulling for the Bills.
I know.
Like there are like 8 people outside of the Kansas City area who are pulling for Kansas City.
Yeah.
One of them is Ryan's son, who's a front.
Yeah, one of them is right above me.
It's going to be, unfortunately, I do think
hanging from the
Drew's
ceiling,
point,
lording over you.
Yeah,
I think it is going to be a close game, which doesn't, it's. I really wish I could talk more about. I really can't convey what I feel about this game because I look at this and I see how the Bills' history and they just haven't been able to do this. And until I can't predict anything because they haven't done it.
Let me throw this at you, and I promise it is not a leading question. You say the Bills need someone unanticipated to step up and make plays. Is that the case, or does Buffalo need a better version of the Notre Dame game plan, which is put everything in the hands of your quarterback? He's clearly your best player. If he has to run the ball 20 times, then that's what he has to do. No restrictions, no looking ahead. Put it all on Josh.
That's not how they've won games this year. Like, I
It's
mean,
true.
they've relied on James Cook, who so
But is that
much.
how they win this game?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever's gonna happen. I think it's just gonna be an incredibly tight game, and
double team Chris Jones for Christ's sake.
And once again, I don't know if the Bills have the offensive. I mean, Deion Dawkins and Brown are good, but Chris Jones is an elite talent, a Hall of Fame talent, and these two aren't.
Chris Jones is one of those dudes who, like, you always hear about, like, playoff Rondo or playoff Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Like, he hits a different level when he gets into the deep in the postseason.
Playoff Mahomes, playoff Kelsey. Like, these guys are going to turn it on. DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a great game, but he's due for a great game. And it's just the Bills are going to have to play their absolute flawless best game if they want a chance to win this game. And we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one, but we're all pulling for you. We're all pulling. We're on your side. America's on your side. It'd be nice if it was just Commanders Bills. It's just like a different Super Bowl. First rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl. What would you do if it was Commanders Bills? Oh my God.
By God, that's Ricky Irvin's music.
I told you if that happens, it's the Wesley Snipes meme with just me crying with a gun.
With the gun. Oh no. Real quick, you don't have to say the team, but you've already locked in your next Mark's Love team for next year?
As of right now, yes.
Okay.
This could change, with the draft.
All right.
I'll tell you, I'll give you one clue, and it's an NFC team again.
Panthers.
No,
what was that?
Come on.
Panthers.
Drew got it.
What? No, it can't be.
It's somewhere in my lizard brain, I remember Mark hinted like 7 weeks ago that he thought the Panthers were built for next year.
I do.
This marriage?
I want to see what happens. If you want me to talk about it now, I will. But they had a great run at the end. And I'm going to throw this out there too. Look at that division.
Right. We know that. Who do we have to pick in the draft, though? We have to get that Arizona wide receiver, I think, too.
Listen, Mark's right, because who's the greatest threat in that division, right? It might be the Falcons, but the Panthers' entire roster age combined is less than Michael Penix. You'll be just fine.
Oh, dear God. I don't know if I can do another season. All right. Segment.
I remember when Gerald Ford was a rookie at Michigan.
Bobby Darin.
Are we seeing Bobby Darin at the Copa?
Oh my God. He'll be back next year. All right, it's time for broadcasting most of the week. First up, Killer Greg is this you?
Could be.
You think he's in
No,
disguise?
that is the big brother from the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Right.
Titans' new general manager, Mike Borgonzi.
Nice Irish boy.
Whoa.
Here we go. Hey!
Oh man!
Rob Ryan has a new job.
He's all them oiled up co-eds.
Linebackers coach. Okay. That picture.
That comes with a
God. Amazing. Mac Hollins at it again with his Zubaz shorts in negative whatever degree weather. He wears no shoes.
Nope.
Ever.
Is he like the fun, crazy version of Kyrie Irving?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was also in that game yelling at a lot of people. And I'm like, you need to calm down, Mac Holmes. Or
Mac gets a lot of personal fouls, by the way, which I do not like.
Always yelling in people's faces.
Or like stepping over them or like flexing. Yeah. Like, dude, you are the fifth receiver special teams player. Like, you haven't done anything monumental this year, buddy. Like, you're just a little weird.
You're not even Steve Tasker.
No, God, no.
You're no Don Beebe, sir.
Yes.
All right. What do you think about this pitch? The two worst teams in the NFL should play the Thursday night before the wild card weekend. Winner getting the first overall pick.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
which that would have meant Will Levis versus Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis.
Oh, please. That would have been great. I'm for all chaos. For all chaos. How about this
Oh, God.
sad boy?
The saddest boy.
John Mara watching the Eagles game now.
John
This is
doing
from something else, but
That's
really,
from the off-season one where he's just like,
off-season.
I sure hope Saquon Barkley doesn't go to a team like, I don't know, the Eagles.
The Eagles. Ryan Fitzpatrick was taking his shirt off before the game.
Oh God, I've sat in that stadium at very cold games, and that hurts me to watch. Jesus. Ugh.
He's not a thin man.
No, he's not. He's never a thin man. But minus 9-degree weather, are you kidding me? That's
a little cold. That's a little cold.
That's the Fist magic, everybody.
All right, this is maybe my favorite thing is watching this lady drive this golf cart into this. Have you seen this?
no.
All I can think of is Austin Powers.
Austin Powers,
yes.
Heart stuck in the hallway.
Some lady just crashed the golf cart carrying Ryan Day after the national championship was won.
I like how then she runs away.
Right. Right.
She's like, I gotta get out of here.
Let's see this
Let
one more time.
I wanna
Let me
see one
pick
more
this up real quick. Blam! Right into the wall.
I'm not a
with the-
mechanic, but I don't think the axle's supposed to do that.
Yeah,
and yeah, she just leaves.
that's what I would do. Oh yeah.
Eagles mayor Sherelle
Ladies and gentlemen,
Parker
Philadelphia.
misspelling Eagles when she tries to lead an Eagles chant earlier in the week. ELGSES Eagles.
Agus.
Elgs. It's the Weasel. 1079 the Weasel. One more for you. East Carolina punter Luke Larson in the transfer portal. He's 32 years old,
God bless him.
and he's getting an NIL deal from this show.
There you
$5.
go.
God.
We'll give you $5 wherever you go.
Without looking it up, I can tell you with absolute certainty that kid is Australian. Like he's one
Oh,
of those
has to
Aussie
be.
rules punters.
Every punter is an Aussie rules guy,
Okay.
right? All right, there we go. That is your broadcasting moments of the week. Time for a very important stripe spiral.
So we had a national championship.
We had one.
and we have a national champion.
We
And-
have one.
And I think everybody's come to the realization that the de facto national championship game was actually Ohio State, Texas.
Yeah.
Which I think we already knew. But here's what I think. I think this is the takeaway from the first ever 12-team playoff. And you see this in the NFL playoffs a lot, and you see this in the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournament a lot. Any sports, whatever you want to call it, organization that has a single elimination playoff tournament, this happens, which is we did not get the two best teams in the national championship game. We didn't.
No.
And it happens a lot. We don't often get the two best teams in the Super Bowl. We don't often get the two best teams in the men's national championship game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I think it's fair to say, as much as I dislike Ohio State, I think it's fair to say Ohio State could well be the best team in the country. I mean, they manhandled everyone after that loss to Michigan. Notre Dame, they went through a soft playoff run. They played Indiana. They played Penn State, who we think is good, but also is Penn State, who tends to whiz down their leg at least once a year, and they picked the worst possible time to do it. And then they played Georgia without their quarterback.
Yep.
And even Georgia, even with Carson Beck, was shakier than the Georgia we remember in the halcyon days of the McConkey years.
I think Georgia's a good win. I think Georgia's a solid win. But like you said, if you look at the rest of that Notre Dame run, there's nobody great. And this has been Notre Dame, and the last 3 or 4 times they've been in the national title game, Notre Dame gets there on like vibes.
Right. And then
they get obliterated.
And don't get me wrong, I think Notre Dame is good. At the very least, I think their defense is good.
Yes.
But, it's the same story with them as ever. They're half a head shorter and 10 pounds lighter than all of their contemporaries on the other side of the football. And as I texted Mark and other Greg over the course of the game, I was like, look, I want Notre Dame to win this game, which is crazy enough to say because I haven't rooted for Notre Dame since I was like 6 and they lost that game to Boston College. But if the silver lining in all this is that everybody realizes that Notre Dame's living off their reputation from 6 decades ago and they haven't really been nationally impactful since, I'm okay with that too. Like if Notre Dame had been in a conference, they never get this far in the first place. They play a half ACC schedule, but they avoided all the good teams in the ACC fundamentally, except for I think they play. I don't remember. I'm not going to guess because I'd be wrong. And so in the end, we end up with a national championship game with a deserving national champion, but not in a game that truly proved their mettle against the second best team in the country, which in theory is what the BCS always gave us. And even the 14 playoff usually with reasonable consistency gave us that matchup, except for that year that Cincinnati was in the playoff and TCU went to the national championship game. So that's really it for the season. And now we move to the offseason. And for right now, the Big Ten owns college football, although it would be reasonably easy to suggest that the Big Ten is a top-heavy conference, right? You have Michigan, you have Ohio State, you have Oregon, and then you have a bunch of other teams who aren't as good as any of those teams. I think SEC fans are going to stump over the course of the offseason that the problem with the SEC is they all beat each other up over the course of their season because they still have Georgia and Bama and Florida and LSU and Tennessee who made the playoff and Texas and blah, 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 on and on and on down the line. They have Ole Miss, they have South Carolina, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really going to be the scape. That's going to be the landscape going into the next season. In the meantime, the ACC came out with a statement, which is possibly the stupidest thing I've ever heard, which is that they're considering altering the ACC championship game as a way to protect their regular season champion getting into the playoffs. Right, because of the whole, like, SMU was like their regular season champion, but then lost in the ACC title game, so they didn't want their regular season champion to then get knocked out of the playoff by virtue of losing the championship game, which was actually the same fear that happened in the poll era when the SEC first started the championship game with Shane Matthews' Florida Gators, that if the Gators had lost that game, they essentially would not have polled into the national championship. This was before any playoff system. They would have gone to a worse bowl and blah, 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 blah. So what the ACC is proposing, among other things, and this one's a doozy, is the regular season champion would not play in the ACC title game, and teams 2 and 3 would play in the ACC title game with the hopes that the winner of that game would then also go to the playoff, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Wow. I hate that.
But the other thing they snuck in there was the possibility of organizing some kind of 4-team tournament within the ACC to determine their champion. The idea being that if you win 2 playoff games within your conference, it would be like a basketball tournament. You would have the opportunity for bid stealing. There wouldn't be as much credit taken away from a team that loses in a title game if they win a semifinal game to get there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Which means, you may recall, on these very airwaves, sometime 3 months ago, I predicted that we may be headed toward conference tournaments in college football. And if the ACC is ready to propose that, it's a damn sight better idea than the other crappy one they proposed, which is that their champion won't play in their championship game.
Yeah, I like that better. But
way better.
Yeah. I guess that wouldn't mess up the because they have weeks off in there, right? It wouldn't mess up the schedule. So
True.
I mean, who gives a shit about scheduling anymore in college football? You know, that it used to be that the season was over by New Year's Day or thereafter, and now it runs to the end of January. So scheduling, geography, none of it matters.
Be damned.
Drew, is Oregon when we go back and look at this, is Oregon like the weakest 1 seed we've seen in a real long time?
Hard to say, because it is. I see what you're getting at, and it's possible. The complication is it is so hard to run the table on a college football schedule, and they beat everyone on their slate, including Ohio State. So it's were they the best team in the country? No, but it's also hard to say that they were a false number 1 seed. Like, they weren't riding in there on a soft schedule like Notre Dame or like Indiana.
Yeah.
So I see what you're driving at, but it's hard for me to declare that unilaterally.
I saw Oregon as the 1 seed. I go, I would have bet the farm on whoever they played in the first game. Like, I just, for some reason, and maybe that's just a residual holdover from the Chip Kelly era, like, I do not trust Oregon in a big spot.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens over the course of the next few years, because Oregon is still playing ball with a Pac-12 roster in a Big Ten conference. And that's a step up in weight class, given where those relative conferences are now, and it always has been. Not since the halcyon days of Matt Leinert's USC has the Pac-12 really put out a team that challenged at that level. The recruiting base has just been taken over by other schools in other parts of the country. So Oregon is still playing with a Pac-12 roster, essentially, and will for another couple of years, depending on how aggressive they are in the portal. In other news of minor importance, despite what he said earlier, Quinn Ewers did decide to declare for the draft. So
yes, he's out.
Yep.
He's out there.
Arch Here we go, Arch.
Which means Texas is officially being handed to Arch Manning, and also
Smart.
means Oregon is probably like, oh shit, we got to go find a quarterback, because I'm sure they had designs on getting Ewers to transfer there with Dylan Gabriel leaving.
March for Arch. March for Arch.
The Giants are just gonna
Salivating.
try to fuck it up for one more year.
They're going to take Ashton Jeanty in round 1. They're so mad about losing Saquon Barkley, they're going to try and replace him.
I could see that.
Dallas is going to do that.
Oh, no,
right?
Dallas. 100% Dallas.
Yeah, he's not getting,
Oh,
if he is still there for
Dallas.
Dallas.
Written all over it.
Yeah.
That is going to be. We talked about our live draft when we live stream the draft and actually live react to it. That will be a big storyline.
Yes.
Will Dallas
from Ryan's
take
house.
live from live from my house? Okay, is that the end of the Stripe Spiral? Unless we get transfer news,
there's nothing else to talk about unless there's transfer news or more coaching changes,
which could happen. You never know. Football foo bar. Let's do it. Who's going in?
Well, so I like to kind of keep it topical. So as we draw closer and closer to the Super Bowl, one thing that's for sure is that every team still left in it needs to prepare themselves for not just the game itself, but all of the off-field distractions that come with big championship games. Case in point, our next inductee into Football Fubar, who, in an effort to release some pre-big game jitters before Super Bowl 33, made the biggest mistake of his life. So today, we welcome former Seahawk and Falcon safety, Eugene Robinson.
Eugene!
Hall, Football Fubar.
Eugene!
So, Eugene played his college ball at Colgate, which obviously didn't get him much national attention.
Yeah, Western New York.
Yep. Went undrafted in the 1985 draft, but quickly caught on as a free agent with the Seahawks, where he worked his way up to the starting position within 2 years. He played 11 seasons with the Seahawks and made it to 2 Pro Bowls, along with leading the NFL in interceptions in 1993. In 95, Robinson signed with the Green Bay Packers, winning Super Bowl 31. He then joined the Falcons in 1998, where he had a tremendous season at 35 years old, solidifying their secondary and getting his 3rd Pro Bowl nod. Now, Robinson would make a pivotal play in that year's NFC Championship game, breaking up a pass intended for Randy Moss that would have won the Vikings the game. By preventing that, he sent the Falcons to their first ever Super Bowl against John Elway and the Denver Broncos. Now, the Super Bowl was held in Miami, and the Falcons arrived to do their PR and interviews like everybody does. Robinson later said that he was kind of tired of these events. They were kind of stressing him out, doing all this publicity, and he wanted some alone time. Save that one for later. So the day before the Super Bowl, Robinson attended the Bart Starr Award Luncheon, by the way, held every year the day before the Super Bowl, where he won the award that was given to a player who best exemplifies outstanding character and leadership in his home, on the field, and in the community. And later that evening, Robinson ventured out into the community. While the rest of his team stayed at the hotel and made curfew, Robinson snuck out and hit up downtown Miami, particularly the Biscayne Boulevard, which is apparently a well-known spot in Miami if you're looking for a little companionship. He was looking for a hooker. Let's get rid of all the innuendo. Robinson went out to go find a hooker, and he found one. Or so he thought, because it was actually an undercover police officer who busted him. And much like Mike does when he finds one of his students has been busted by, soliciting a prostitute. The cops called his parents, Robinson's parents, which were the Falcons, and they bailed him out of jail at 2 a.m, the day of the Super Bowl. By his own admission, he spent the rest of the night crying with teammates. News broke out of Robinson's arrest early that morning, but surprisingly, the Falcons didn't suspend him or hold him out of the game, which they most definitely should have. Not for, ignoring moral reasons. Robinson was just in no shape to play this game. He hadn't slept. His name was all over the media, and people forget he was a married guy. Like, he had kids, and that news broke out, and this is something that could, break apart his family. His head was most definitely not in this game. Falcons still trotted Robinson out there, and he was not in any condition to play. Gave up an 80-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter, and Terrell Davis blew by him for a 65-yard run later in the second. And the Broncos crushed the Falcons 34-19 in a game that saw some garbage time touchdowns that made it look a lot closer than it was. Now, to his credit, Robinson has owned up to his arrest and is a frequent speaker at rookie events, warning young NFL players of the peril of the vagina. In fact, my favorite news article when researching this induction was when Robinson spoke to the Carolina Panthers before Super Bowl 50 game against also the Broncos, kind of weird. And the headline of the article I found was, and this is verbatim, Robinson warns Panthers of prostitutes. End quote. So, as the Super Bowl draws near, let's hope for no more prostitute-related arrests. And where's the Super Bowl this year? New Orleans? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni's definitely getting some prostitutes.
Oh,
Anyway, welcome to Football Fubar, Mr. Robinson.
Eugene
Y'all doing
Robinson.
coitus in New Orleans?
Y'all
Y'all
doing
doing
coitus? Y'all trying to do coitus?
Y'all paying for coitus in New
Right.
Orleans?
Commercial-free hour of Foreigner tonight on 107.3 Old Prom Ryan overnights.
On WSEL the Weasel.
Eugene Robinson played for the Panthers in 2000. He became the Panthers color man on radio, which he did for like 15 years, which is weird.
Did he talk
And
about
that's
the
why
coitus?
he spoke to the team at Super Bowl 50. Also, I was looking that up because I'm like, I'm pretty sure Eugene was the radio man. But also, he returned that award the next day, which is so funny. And then the last thing on his Wikipedia page it says that he's a Christian man. Like, okay, well,
Did he write his
Canales.
own? Yeah.
this marriage.
Yeah, this marriage?
This man.
Forward by Eugene Robinson.
Somebody's gonna see this book and think something's wrong. Like, are you all right? No, this is just a joke. It's a very funny joke. You would not get. All right. Mike Dip of the week.
Tip of the week is Woody Johnson for not hiring Rex Ryan and making our lives better.
Yeah, come on.
Screw
Why'd
that
you
guy.
do that?
What are you doing trying to win games? You should be entertaining the four of us, damn it.
Jets, why are you doing something smart? Get out of here.
Just stop. It is out of character and uncomfortable.
Real quick before we move on to the other segments, quick playoff punishment update. Drew's not looking good. He lost the
No,
Ravens.
I'm host. Both my Super Bowl teams are out. Ravens are out. Detroit's out.
I'm not looking good because I have the Lions winning the Super Bowl, so that's not good for me.
I had Minnesota.
Minnesota
Not
lost
winning,
a lot
not
of
winning.
games. Minnesota lost in the first round. Mark, you're looking like you're in the lead right now. You still have both your Super Bowl teams, I believe.
So I had Chiefs, Eagles in the Super Bowl, but I'm really hoping for that Marquez knockout right now. So
Yes, you
Yep.
are, baby. Me
Let's-
too.
Yep.
I'll
All
be
right.
happy to get this pick wrong. Let's say next episode, I'll be very happy
All
if
right.
this pick was wrong.
Which,
We'll
by the
have
way,
to-
if you've never seen it, go watch the Marquez knockout on Pacquiao. It's one of the great knockouts ever. I saw it live. I thought Pacquiao was dead. I didn't think he was getting up.
Wow.
I want
All right.
a similar thing.
Speaking of knocked out Pacquiao, Sad Boy Boat. There's a lot of candidates right now
Yeah,
that could
there
be on
sure
the Sad
are.
Boy Boat. The entire NFC North
Mark Andrews
could be a Sad Boy Boat. Mark Andrews is for sure on the Sad
As-
Boy Boat.
As we discussed offline this morning, Kurt Schilling.
yeah,
I went after Kurt Schilling.
yeah, right.
He's never making it into the Hall of
Guns
Fame.
ablazing.
He's never making it in.
Never mind. I'm not
And
having
somehow Billy Wagner is. What are we?
I know, right?
Not that I'm pro Kurt Schilling, but like, what the? Maybe I only remember the bad Billy Wagner years with the Mets where he was a bum. But like, what are we doing?
Let's
in
get this
order-
out there too.
Yeah.
We talked about it in our private chat. What fucker didn't vote for Ichiro?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fuck
Come
that
on.
guy.
There's
Whoever
always
did that,
one.
fuck that guy.
What's a
There's
quick way to know
always
you
one.
shouldn't be voting?
Like-
Not voting for Ichiro.
Is
There's
that guy
never-
not voted? Well, no. Somebody was unanimous, right? Mariano.
Mariano
was-
Mariano,
Rivera was
yeah.
unanimous, and I think there's been one
No,
other
Rivera-
since then. But because
Rivera
Jeter
wasn't
wasn't
Jeter.
unanimous either.
It
Because
wasn't Jeter.
baseball,
No.
baseball has always stood on this absolute stupid thing that because Babe Ruth wasn't unanimous, nobody should be. And so there's always one
Which is
jerk who
idiotic.
decides he's going to fall on the sword, even if it makes no sense.
And
So stupid.
eventually, the boomers who are baseball writers are going to fucking die.
Yes, because I think every baseball writer is over the age of 78.
And they all have names like Driftwood Johnson.
They need to hire us. We can
also-
get this done quick.
Yeah, Driftwood Johnson, who I think also pitched for the Washington Senators.
Yeah.
We
An award named after a guy named Kennesaw Mountain something or other.
Landis.
put the four of us in a room with some names, and we'll come out with 3 Hall of Famers every year. We'll get it done for you.
Absolutely.
Easy. All right. Who else is sad? Mark Andrews, the NFC North.
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt
That's
Schilling,
four.
yeah,
Three right
sure.
there.
Kurt will never get in. One more spot.
Jaguar
Jerry-
fans.
Jaguars.
I was going to say Sadiq Khan.
The Cons.
The Khan
The Khan
family.
family.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Game balls. You got any game balls to give out? I'll start with you, Mark.
I never give it to anybody who played against my team or my own team, so we'll go with Saquon.
Okay. All right, Mike. Game ball.
No.
Nobody. Okay. All right.
None of you deserve my love.
Nobody. Now that McConkey's gone. Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell do I care?
It's a sad episode. No
Nobody
McConkey.
care.
This week.
No
It's a
McConkey
rebound.
episode. No McConkey discussion. All right, Drew. Are you also going to refuse?
Off topic, because I'm always off topic, and I understand she has since lost and been eliminated. But game ball to U.S. women's tennis player Danielle Collins for turning
Yes.
Oh.
his neat heel in
Yes.
an encore interview and trolling
Tennis
the entire
is a
continent of
heel.
Australia.
We
Tennis-
need this.
Tennis should absolutely go the WWE route and
Yeah.
have faces and heels.
You know,
It would be amazing.
You know what the key was? The key was that she took the mic from the interview.
Yes.
There's
Right.
Yes.
two people who do that, which is wrestling heels and Dirk Nowitzki
Yes.
at a press conference. And those are
Yes.
your only choices. When she took the mic, that was the full heel turn, and I'm here
I
for
love
all
it.
of it.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
love it.
And then she thanked Australia for paying for her 5-star vacation, which I adore.
Oh, that's nice.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
That's nice. I'm giving mine to Jared Verse, even though he lost.
Yeah.
Get
ballsy.
out there, man. Get your
Yeah,
name
right.
out there. Market yourself. Make the Eagles fans mad. Do it. More people need to do it. And you, Albany. So let's do it.
So weird.
That he went to you, Albany.
Yes, that he went to Albany.
Yeah. How did they pull that off?
Well, like
Hey,
we talked about it,
late-
like kind of
late
casually
bloomer.
too. Khalil Mack went to Buffalo.
Khalil
How'd
Mack
that
ends
happen?
up at Buffalo. Ben Roethlisberger goes to Miami of Ohio,
Yeah.
which I've had this conversation.
Wyoming.
I've
Yeah.
had this conversation with some
Culpepper
coworkers.
is the one I
who
always
are-
think of.
I've had this conversation at work with some people who are into Midwestern football. Like, great speculation that we'll never know. In the NIL era, where would Ben Roethlisberger have transferred to?
Oh
Yeah. Right.
Because you know he wasn't staying at Miami.
No.
No. Ohio State, probably.
Maybe not. You know, he didn't really break out till his junior year when he would have been draft eligible anyway. But it's an interesting supposition.
Purdue.
Purdue.
Purdue
What
does
maybe?
not have more money than Miami of Ohio, as weird as that sounds.
So interesting, and I think this is obviously related to NILs, but this is the lowest like underclassmen declared for the NFL draft in the last like 15, 20 years.
Absolutely
Yeah.
related to
Yeah.
NIL.
Right.
And the end of the transfer portal. It's
right.
both things in conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Time for plugs. We got any plugs this week? Drew, you got any plugs?
If I get off my ass, maybe by the time that you read this, or maybe by the time you listen to this podcast, my review of the new Lacuna Coil album will be up.
Oh.
Very nice. Very nice. Mr. Mike, you got any plugs?
I have no plugs.
Student of the week?
Look at that hair. You can tell there's no plugs.
It is exactly. Look at that hair.
Great hair. Great hair.
It is exam week, so I don't have a lot of.
No
uh,
student of the week. What's
no.
up with Gum Guy? What's Gum Guy doing?
Gum guy did real well on his midterm, so shout out.
Oh,
Gum
congrats to him,
Guy.
guy.
Great work out of Gum Guy.
Wow. All right. And Mark and I have a plug, which I'm going to do now. The TGIF podcast is recording next week our coaching episode, and I want to give you the episodes early here. Ready for these? Perfect Strangers, The Unnatural. Larry's baseball team makes it to the championships, and he finally has a chance to win a trophy of his own. Will he put winning above his friendship with Balky? Okay.
Okay.
The Natural. Also, Sister. It's the start of the twins' sophomore year, and Tia changes her school schedule for a boy. Tamara finds out she's good at a sport, but has an overbearing, pushy parent in Ray.
Just a sport.
She tries
A
a
sport.
drug.
A drug. Yeah,
DJ
right.
tries a drug. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, episode called Coach. Mark becomes the new head coach of the undefeated basketball team after Coach Corley quits. He starts to think that he doesn't have what it takes to be a winning coach when the team loses, but he turns it around. And then finally, Full House.
Fuck
Wrong
you.
Way Turner
Earmuffs,
Wrong way,
children,
Tanner.
earmuffs. Fuck you, Ryan, for throwing another Full
God.
House in there.
This is going to be incredible. Wrong
No.
way, Tanner. While her skills are questionable, Michelle has fun playing on the soccer team until she scores the game-winning goal for the other team.
Good.
Wah, wah.
Joey is the coach, I believe.
Oh, God.
I just, not that I want to go in detail with perfect strangers, but like, what situation arises that he has to make a choice between playing in a championship baseball game and his friendship with Balky? Like, how do you engineer that one?
Benching him, probably. He's player coach, I'm guessing.
Oh,
He's
my
he's
God.
bad
Balky
at.
also play on the baseball team?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
is this
guessing they
one
both
clear?
play. Yeah, they
Okay.
must both play.
When I saw the Full House thing, I didn't read the description that you sent me, and I thought to myself, any one of these three kids in this role is fucking infuriating.
Yeah,
And then I read it was Michelle, and I got even angrier.
it's gonna be something. Greg's gonna be real mad. Tune in for that next week. He's not gonna like it.
No.
He's not gonna like it. All right, that's it. We're done. Next week we got the championships, so we'll know who's in the Super Bowl. Holy shit!
This
What a
is
season.
107.3 The Weasel signing off at the end of our broadcast day.
Oh, the Prop Ryan up next. Bye.